New breed, I disagree with polygyny. All right, Mikey, make sure your make sure that your background is good and you're not playing in the background. Let's get it. You the brother that disagree, right?
Yep, I do disagree with polygyny. And
Okay.
yep, yeah, this the reason why, like sometimes with your points, you say like the reason why you like do polygyny is like because of King David, but like King David got in trouble because of that with his wife. Him and his wife got in trouble for doing polygyny because the Most High, because a lot of things didn't work out with that. Like, and then like a lot of people, a lot of kings, they got in trouble because of lust, because they was messing with different women that came to their fall. Samson fell because he was messing with uh because of a wife, because of lust. So like
All right,
why
let me slow you down because you're making layered statements, and I want to make sure I hit all the points you just made. When you said David got in trouble for having multiple wives, I need chapter and verse. Let's start there.
okay.
Give me chapter and verse where David got in trouble for having multiple wives. Where God himself
Okay.
said, David, you're in trouble because you got more than one wife. And I'll let you get that. And then
Yep.
I'll let you get that while I'm pulling up something as well. All right. I'm gonna give you some time to look it up.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so one verse I can use is Deuteronomy 17:17.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Let me go to this verse. Uh this is pretty much where God had like told us not to do this polygyny. Let's see. Uh, let's see 17. And here we go. It says, okay, so now we go to Deuteronomy 17:17. It says, he or his heart will be led astray,
Brother, I'm not hearing you. You said what?
accumulate large amounts of
Brother, you have a really bad connection.
this law taken from that.
Hold on. I want you to have a fair chance, brother, but your connection is really bad. I didn't hear nothing you just said. It literally just went out. Are you there? Hello. Yeah. Okay, so the brother got put out, or I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna actually go to Second Samuel just to disprove what he just said. He just dropped out himself. Maybe he'll come back. And as I'm expounding on this, you're welcome to come back, but you got to get a better connection. I'm gonna go to Second Samuel's chapter 12, verse 8. Let me give you the context of this. After David got caught committing adultery, which that's what the Most High God condemned David of. Dealing with another man's wife is what David was guilty of. David was in charge of the militia. He sent a soldier out to die. He put him on the front line and everything. He ordered the command. The man's wife, he looked at that man's wife and he looked upon her with lust. And he didn't want to break the law. So what David did was he had that man killed so he can deal with his wife. David didn't go off the battle. He didn't go off the fight. And that's where the Most High was angry with David. And let me show you what the Most High God and his response was. Second Samuel's chapter 12, verse 8. And I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and wives, plural. And I gave thee, the Most High God is saying, David, I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives meaning I gave you wives, I gave you homes, I gave you everything into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if there had been too little, I would moreover given you unto thee such and such things. Meaning, David, why the hell did you go deal with this man's wife when I've already given you wives, David? And if you needed more wives, why didn't you just ask me? Why didn't you just ask me for more wives? God himself said that to David. If you wanted more, if you wanted more wives, more homes, you already had it all. Why go deal with another man's wife? And also, David was forgiven for what he did. But we don't deal with no adultery. You stay away from another man's wife. You never lust upon another man's wife. Right? So what the young man said is not true. He also went on to say that King Solomon fell because he had multiple wives. That's not true. The Most High God put parameters over King Solomon. The parameter was this: Solomon, you can have as many women as you want. But the thing is, don't be dealing with those strange women, because they're going to turn your heart aside. They're going to turn your heart astray. And that's what happened. He was dealing with all kind of Gentile women, and those Gentile women had Solomon building golden calves in the middle of Jerusalem. He was worshiping other gods and deities. At Solomon's age, it made Solomon slip and fall off because he wanted to deal with multiple races of women. And those women worship other gods, and they were able to manipulate Solomon. And he strayed away from the faith. So not, the Bible never told Solomon he couldn't have more than one wife, but there were parameters put in place. Until this day, the Most High God has laws. We're not supposed to be, quote unquote, interracially dating. Now, of course, if a woman follows your God, the God of Israel, and she's not into any paganism, listen, you can work with that woman. There's grace. You can work with a sister who's following your God, because check this out. If a woman is a Jake woman, a melanated woman, and she wants to celebrate Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, all these holidays, do New Age yoni steams, do tarot cards, and worship Satan, just because she's a quote unquote Israelite by blood, that don't mean that that woman won't turn your heart astray. So you got to use discretion, wisdom when you're reading from that Bible. So let it be known that the Most High God never once condemned polygyny in the Bible. Matter of fact, there's laws regarding it. In the same book that the young man was about to read from in Deuteronomy, it tells you, if a man take on another wife, make sure her food, clothes, shelter, and raiment, and duty of marriage shall not be diminished, which proves that there's laws regarding polygyny. So how in that same book is he trying to say that the Most High God condemned it? That would be a contradiction. There's no contradictions in the book, right?
Yep. Shalom, Bree. Actually, yeah, okay. You did make a lot of sense now. Okay, I see it now. With King David, he didn't get in trouble because of polygyny. He got in trouble because he did adultery. I see that now. I do. And but the scripture I was going to use to was Deuteronomy 17:17. It was saying where he must not take many wives, or his heart will be led astray. So now I also see this. It's not saying that polygyny is banned, but it's saying that his heart would be led astray.
So I'm glad you actually got the context. That's very mature of you, brother. That's very mature of you. And listen, here's the thing, brother. It's not a law that you must have more than one wife. But the fact of the matter is, it is a choice.
Yeah, I agree. I see that in the Old Testament, the Most High, he had no problem with men doing polygyny and stuff like that. But now my question, I'm sure you get it a lot, but this is kind of what I'm going to use. When Christ came, he said that one man, one wife. How do you feel about that? Because that's another argument I'm going to use with when Christ said only one man and one wife.
That's actually not what Christ said. What he said was, and keep in mind, there are language barriers. Things are worded a certain way. What he said in context was, a man should leave out of his mother's house, a man should leave out of his mother and father's house and become one flesh
Good.
with a woman.
Yeah, and then another thing is I'm gonna use the Old Testament, New Testament thing. I know when you come across they use that, but I'm gonna use it. I don't think I saw any people who did polygyny in the New Testament.
It wasn't really spoken about like that, but Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1, that's prophecy, because anytime it says and in that day, it's actually talking about now. So it's not negating poly. It just doesn't speak too much of it, because all the laws and parameters of poly was already given in the Old Testament. So it really wouldn't make no sense for them to keep on speaking about it the entire time. But it does make sense for them to say, and that day 7 women will cleave to one man, because you're going to come into a time where there's going to be austerity measures. A lot of the New Testament is about prophecy, about the time we living in right now. And that's what it is. Like, we at a point in time where it's survival. We at a point in time where the dichotomy of marriage and relationships is just sick, where people just want to pump and dump, smash and dash. Women don't have no decorum. They just want to get a $200, $300, $400 cash app, and they'll sleep with whoever. Or if a man show them a good time and they on vacation, they like, hey, what the hell with it? I'll lie down with the person and have sex, but since I don't have a ring and I'm not signed on no marriage certificate, God doesn't see nothing wrong with this. Well, he does. If you're going to sleep with a man, you should be with that man for good, for the long haul. But
Wow.
that's what it is, man. I want to let a couple other guests in. I see it's other people. Well, it was one gentleman. He was just in here. It looked like he just disappeared. Maybe he retracted his disagreement. That happens sometimes.
Oh
Young,
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about that. One more question. So, what the thing about the prophecy, in Isaiah, the prophecy in Isaiah, do you think it could be a chance that could possibly be a bad thing? That people will, that 7 women will cleave to one man? That
it's a
Isaiah,
curse. It's a curse.
so polygyny is a bad thing because
No.
it's
No. Let me explain it. No, polygyny is not a bad thing, but the curse would be, let us eat our own bread. Let us make our own money. Let us go out here and make a living for ourselves. Because in context, that's what Isaiah says. It says, let us be called by thy name to take away thy reproach. That's a curse. The curse is that you shouldn't have to worry about working at all. If you have a husband, back in the day, you were taken care of, no matter how many wives that person had. But the mentality changed of these women, where they don't want to work together anymore. They only want to be called by a man's name. They want to cleave to him, be called by his name. But a lot of people in modern society don't want to practice polygyny lawfully and orderly. They just want to deal with a man for that thing. Let's be real about it. They want to work, they want to do their own thing, but they want to cleave to a man, a righteous man. That's the curse. Really, polygyny should be practiced in a way in which you got your sister wives, they're taking care of you, they holding it down at the house, you don't have to pay for childcare, and you got a trusted company, and everything is righteously done, and that man, and everything y'all doing, all y'all resources is towards helping that man elevate to take care of that family. So that would be the curse. Not that polygyny is a bad thing, because it was always practiced in our culture. And the Most High God wants us to replenish the earth. So no, the curse is that these modern women have to work, and they have to actually go out there and go through the pressures of trying to bring home ends meet these days.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That does make a lot of sense. Yeah. Wow. that makes that's really good. That makes sense.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you understand. Now keep in mind, it's a choice. If you're a one woman man, be a one woman man. Because I tell you right now, and I'm gonna say this loud and clear, poly is not easy. It's not easy. It's not. A lot of brothers say, "Oh, that sounds good. Another wife, another." No, that's another responsibility. That's there's a good thing. It's blessings when you persevere and you push through and you're doing your thing and everybody is growing, but it is not easy, especially if your intentions are not 100%. Because some of you brothers think you're ready for it because you're thinking about sex, but you're not thinking about the fact that you're going to have to be there for these women. You're going to be responsible for them. You're going to have to be there emotionally. There's a lot of things that a lot of brothers just not even ready for. So don't do it just based on the fact that you can do it. Polygyny is for business-minded men. Polygyny is for men who want a future, ambitious men. Polygyny is for men who really want to build something. Men who think about generational wealth, not men who just trying to have fun. All right. So let me just put that out there.